Rich Dad's second lesson was to differentiate between one's profession and their business, and how many people are confused between their profession and business. Rich Dad explained that one's profession revolves around the income column through paychecks and wages, whereas one's business revolves around the developed assets that generate their wealth on their own and doesn't require the active participation. Current education system is designed to make more employees, not entrepreneurs, which makes today's youth to get jobs and eventually making them income and wage oriented. Due to their lack of financial intelligence, they become fiscally conservative and play safe and avoid taking risks. Middle class think that their house is an asset, but as the house doesn't generate wealth for them, and the moment they sell their asset, they get taxed for their gains. Whereas the rich don't own their assets, but control those assets completely to generate passive wealth. They never sell their assets, so government never charges anything in form of taxes. Rich keeps their expenses low, reduce liability, and diligently build a base of strong assets, whereas middle class and poor pile up the liability column and keep making a hop from jobs to jobs. It is important to keep your day job to make the money come to you, but it's equally important that you start buying real assets. Rich Dad encouraged Robert and Mike to acquire assets that they love, because if they don't love it, they won't take care of it. Mike and Robert realized the difference between rich and poor, and how poor people buy luxuries first because of their emotional decisions, whereas rich buy luxuries at last. Poor and middle class people might appear prosperous on surface, but beneath, not so much. Robert asked, why do people say that rich people should be taxed more? Here, Rich Dad explained the history of income tax and how it came into mainstream finances in early 90s, with the agenda of taking money off of those rich people. But because of the great financial intelligence of these rich folks, soon that practice affected poor and middle class people eventually. It is the knowledge of the legal corporate structure that makes the rich a capitalist and poor and middle class people a socialist. The money taxed by common people is eventually given to the rich people by government to create jobs and infrastructure for people. And those same rich people are excluded from taxation by the government because they provide employment to people who look up to the government for employment. So, the harder you work, the more you pay to the government, and so does the cycle repeats. Rich Dad reminded Robert and Mike about financial IQ and pointed out 4 broad areas of expertise, that is, accounting, investing, understanding markets, and the law. All those points were already understood, but knowing the law was new for Robert and Mike. So they asked. Rich Dad said, "We live in a bad world where everyone wants to take advantage of you, and when you climb the ladder of wealth, you will encounter people who will sue you and file lawsuits and create trouble for you. That's why rich always hire best attorneys and lawyers to protect themselves from such things." Rich Dad assured Robert and Mike to teach them more in coming time.